Here are my favorite tips to make cooler, more memorable, and just flat out good melodies, nice and easy. So we're going to talk about this melody a little bit because I think it's really simple, but I do think genuinely this is a nice melody. I think I can make a really good song out of this, and I'm going to talk about a couple of the things I did just with these few notes to make this melody better. So the very first thing I want to talk about is the varying note lengths and of course the decay that's built into the sound itself through the preset I did in Serum. So originally, if you don't have any of this, it would sound a little bit more like this. And if we get rid of our changes in note length as well, this is going to get a little more boring, I think, but this is what it would sound like kind of by default. See, the notes are all there, the melody still exists kind of as I made it, but it's missing a bit of that humanization. You see, I made this note shorter. I did this little trill over here, which is where it hits this one note and then quickly goes up to that G, rather than just hitting the G. Makes it a little more human, like how you do it on a piano, sounding like this. Very nice touch, I love that little technique. And that coupled with the delay, so that way it's not just a long held note, I think makes this sound quite nice. It's a very pleasant sound and a good melody. The second thing I want to talk about is call and response. If you don't know what that means, this is something that when you're writing melodies, you probably subconsciously think about quite a lot, and I'm going to explain it in a way that I think really makes a lot of sense. So the way I learned this is kind of question and answer, but in your melody. What that means is kind of divide your melody or sections of your melody into half. This section is going to be sort of like asking a question, and this section of the melody is going to answer it. So over here on the left we have, right? And then that section is answered on the right side by this. See how they kind of feel like they exist in the same space, and it's like the ending of a phrase. This is like the beginning, and this is the end. That's a really important thing to do in your melodies. It gives different sections of your melody a lot of cohesion, which is super important. You definitely want that. The third thing I did that's really cool is I added a little bit of swing. I didn't do too much because if you overdo swing, I want to show you what it does at 100%. Sounds like this. See, it's moving things a little bit off the grid. You can't actually see it on the piano roll, which I think is unfortunate. But if you listen to it, like especially with metronome on, see, that last note was really late, and that was actually kind of cool. I might end up moving that a bit. But I did a very small amount of swing, just to again make things a little bit more human. If you don't do that, everything's perfectly on the grid. It's not realistic. Like imagine you have your piano set up and you're playing some melodies. That's not how you're gonna play it. You're gonna do things a little bit imperfect, and you might fix it up in post, which is okay. But I like to leave a little bit of that, because it makes things just a bit more real, I feel. The next part I want to talk about is over here, this section of the track. I haven't actually done this tip yet. I'm going to do it here in the video. So I'm going to play this bit where it kind of goes low octave and adds a bass. Right, so what I wanted to do here, I put it low octave, but I think it kind of got too muddy, like when it's played with my other layer. So what I wanted to do is keep this down an octave, but also duplicate and go up one. But I don't want to keep it like this. There's something I'm going to do just with this upper octave one. So right now it sounds like this. Pretty cool. Now it's like our first part, but with a bit more body. What I'm going to do is zoom in quite far, so like this, and shift only this top layer to the right just a few ticks. So listen to this. That's too much. We're going to do like this. This is a really nice technique. I like that quite a lot. It's taking that upper octave and just making it play a little bit late. It's kind of like a delay, sort of, but sounds like this on its own. Move it a little more if you want. That's pretty cool. It's like really glitchy this way. It's just a cool little bloop sound. I really like it. And that's a fast way to do it. Nice and easy. Gotta be careful if you have a lot of other elements, because this might end up just sounding a bit late. You really want to be subtle with it, just so it's there, but maybe not too noticeable. But that's a really nice tip, and if you keep these things in mind, I feel you're gonna have a lot better melodies. It's not that hard to do. I think the initial writing part of a melody is hard, but once you have that down, putting in these little tricks is pretty simple and fast to do. and it just makes them a lot better. And we haven't even talked about like post-processing or anything. I do have videos like that, like how to make pro leads on my channel. I definitely recommend you go check that out, because I talk about like after you have your melody, what to do in terms of effects to make it sound good in your mix. Would definitely recommend you check that out. But that's all for this video on a few tips to make your melodies cooler. I hope this helped you out. If it did, please do drop a like, that helps me a ton, and subscribe for more future music production content. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.